Hello, guys. Welcome to the One United podcast. This is Wali, Paritosh Joshi, and TT Dinete Thomas with us over here for another episode. And this is the big one. We are going to preview the finals of the Europa League. Nerves kicking in already. पिछले 3-4 दिनों से मैं वही बार-बार दिमाग में घूम रहा है. It's Tottenham versus United. But before we get into that, we just got some big news coming in from Sky Sports. Although it's not confirmed, but if Sky Sports have brought it out, I think it's pretty much 95% done. So Matheus Cunha is set to join Manchester United after the season ends this weekend. Despite interest from other clubs, Cunha wants to play for United, and Sky Sports News has been told the deal is almost agreed. So let's get a brief reaction from the both of you on this. Dinete, do you want to start first? Matheus Cunha to United, that's a positive start to the next season, you'll have to say.
I think Kunha is a decent signing. I'm still not sure if he's the exact type of player that we're looking for. I would still prioritize a proper center forward with the form of Hoyland and Zolvi not being too um, consistent. I would rather have prioritized someone as a target man than Kunuha because I feel like he's more of like a bit more advanced Mount or Garnacho, I would say. But again, we need quality players. We need more people up front because this season we've been struck with injuries. A lot of players went out on loan, so we were a bit thin in that area. So it's interesting to see how we link up with with Bruno and his Portuguese teammate. So yeah, I think overall he could be a good signing, but still, it's not like I wouldn't be so hyped about him.
Uh, okay, Paritosh, let's talk about Cunha. If we talk about his stats, 15 goals and 6 assists from 31 Premier League fixtures this season. That too with
Uh,
Wolves, knowing that they've been there and around with us. So, what do you have to say? Advanced position में खेलेगा, number 10 position में खेलेगा. What do you have to say?
I think he's also the fourth most. He also has the fourth most goals in the Premier League in this season. Only three people are
Mm-hmm.
above him. One is Salah, another is Saka, and I think one more player, and he's the fourth one. So the stats are there to prove it. I have seen some of his game. I have not been an avid Matheus Cunha watcher, तो अब मैं इतना ज़्यादा अभी तक एक conclusive evidence तो नहीं है मेरे पास कि he'll be working for United from the day one. But he's an exciting prospect. He has that Brazilian DNA. He scores bangers from long range. He what people complain about him is what people complain about him is that he cries too much at times and that he's not a team player. But I think he is a team player. He just wants to be in a better team, or he wants his team to play better. That's what I conclude from his actions, and I think United will benefit from him. He can play in tandem with Bruno. He plays in the similar position, central attacking midfield. He can also play with two of them. But then again, the question arises: what will be the formation going forward? Uh, with Amarim, we have seen many a times he likes playing a back three with uh, wing backs. He also plays a
Two
four man
tens up
defense
top.
set. Uh, he is quite flexible with that. I am interested in seeing how he fares for United and what are the plans exactly. So he's a good player. There's no doubt about it. But will he function in the long run, or will he crumble under the pressure of the Old Trafford lights? I'm not pretty certain as of now. Although it's a good addition,
Uh,
he'll not
the
cost
good thing,
much. Bulls are
yeah.
already struggling. He wants to go, so let's see.
So the good thing that like why I feel positive about this signing is number one, United haven't confirmed the Champions League spot yet. This guy wants to play for us, which is a good sign. Number two, he is Wolves' best player. He's already the like I said, 15 goals, 6 assists. He's been a maverick for the team. He has a personality. He has an attitude that we actually lack at this moment of time. The physicality, the pace. He's got that. And number three, he currently better than what we have at this moment of time? If we compare him to our Alejandro Garnachos, or if we compare him to someone else for that matter, I think yes, it will add a new dimension to the team. And if you look at Bruno Fernandes, like he has been our best player for this season as well as the previous season, and let's be honest, he also needs some quality players around us. Matthews Cunha's Premier League experience and his successful season with Wolves on an individual basis, I think, can do something in favor of United, and I'm very much excited for it. So fingers crossed. I hope it's a good move by Ineos. Like it's not very common to actually praise them. I hope this is the same momentum they carry on when it comes to buying a center forward, when it comes to having probably a goalkeeper. Let's see how it rolls on. But so that's our verdict on Cunha. Now let's roll ahead on the Europa League preview. Or do you guys want to say anything else about Cunha, or let's move ahead?
Let's see how
All
it
right.
goes. Mhm.
All right, all right. So we didn't even talk about the Chelsea game in the like we were not available in the previous podcast. What do you guys have to say about that? How was the performance like? Because we started off quite well, if you're being honest, but
On,
the usual United, one mistake, one goal for the other team, and that's it.
I I honestly wouldn't I didn't mind it much because I feel like the players in the end didn't whoever came on also didn't want to exert too much until like the very end. I think we held off well for 70 minutes. I mean, they also didn't have any shot on target, I believe, apart from the Reece James hitting the post with that crazy volley. I think I think we did play well, and I know this is something what Ruben Amorim did different to Ange over the Friday, where Ange is known to resting players and then getting them fresh for Friday. I think Amorim is more of the one who wants to get momentum before the Friday so that we don't lack focus, and that's happened to us against Villarreal when we were in the final. We rested a lot of players, and then we looked so blunt when we started the final, and then they scored and we struggled to win that game. So I think the approach that Ruben Amorim has is a bit different. Hopefully, it pays off on Wednesday. But yeah, so I don't care much about the Chelsea performance. I think the players who started, well, at least 10 of them might start on the final, and if they start the way they did against Chelsea, I think we should be confident.
Paritosh, the Chelsea game, plenty of people were saying that there was no need to start the first team players. Some of them were saying, just like Dinete, that they were saying that it's better that you start the first team players so that that synergy is there for the final since it's very close enough. Uh, Say 17th, 16th position is something which is unacceptable. I'm sure even the players deep down they must be knowing this, and people are saying that Amarim is to be blamed, players are to be blamed. Yes, they are to be blamed, but I also feel that हमारा क्या है हमारा भी अभी यही फीलिंग है ना we're not looking forward to the league fixtures as fans. What we are looking forward to is Europa League, Europa League, Europa League, and that is exactly what is happening with the players and probably the manager as well.
Mm.
I think this is going to change the next season. We will see more intensity, more energy from the players, as well as a more tenacious approach from Ruben Amorim when it comes to the Premier League. But talking about the last game, especially the last 15 minutes, वो दिख रहा था कि they were not interested. Our players, nothing happened in the last 15 minutes.
So there was
But
no push. There was no push from the team. और ये तो काफी clear हो चुका है कि they understand that there's no point of exerting yourself in the Premier League even if they are losing. They tried some things, or you could have almost scored with the Maguire goal at the start of the game. But after conceding late on, they were like, "Eh, let's just not try to push ourselves too much and wait for the midweek game." Because this was the game that they were focusing on. Let's be clear about it. They don't care about because winning or losing didn't matter to us against Chelsea. It mattered for Chelsea. If they drop points, their Champions League spot was in trouble. So we could have spoiled their party. Didn't happen. But I think we need to move and accept that this season we just fucked and we've been utter shite for the longest of times now. It's just that we this time around there are no players who can mask the cracks underneath. We were playing shit football for a long while. It's just that we have been exposed this season. We were playing way worse football than teams like Brighton, and we were finishing above them because of the excellence of certain players, of some players and individual movements. That didn't happen this season. Also, we played well in Europa, so that also gave an incentive to focus on Europa and not in the Premier League. There were games we could have captured points in, but because we were not pushing, we didn't get the points. But this mentality can't continue. They are being let go of this because of this Europa League final. If they lose, and even if they win, they can't continue this attitude next season. There needs to be a genuine and magnanimous shift in attitude. If the players are needed to let go of their positions in the club, that should happen. But this attitude can't continue. That will focus on the uh, on the cup tournament rather than the league, where every game matters throughout the season.
But just a question: if let's say next season, if we win the Europa League, we are 12th, and then we are in a Champions League final, would we still think feel the same way?
I think a
Uh,
Champions League final and a Europa League final,
Yeah.
it's like chalk
No,
and cheese.
what about we are still
I
12th?
think it's
No, the
highly
point is.
unlikely. I think it's highly unlikely. But if
Hmm,
we are playing that good and we are in the Champions League final, I think it will be forgiven again because we have not
hmm.
played good in the Champions League for a long while, for a
Yeah. So
long,
then,
long while.
yeah,
I think the last best finish in the Champions League was with David Moyes in the quarterfinals. I think it was, or as
yeah,
well as it,
Last was
as well as with Oli. I
the
think
final reached when Alex Ferguson lost at Wembley. That was the last best we had.
no. After
huh,
that, I'm
after
talking
that,
about. I think Moyes era, we
David
were
Moyes.
against Bayern Munich in quarterfinals, and I think
Only gonna
with
only
Ole
gonna
Gunnar
reach
Solskjaer,
quarters.
Barcelona quarterfinals. Yeah, with
Only gonna
Barcelona,
reach
where we got
quarters, I
spanked.
think.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and it was a
Okay,
David De Gea masterclass. I remember.
yeah. We also reached under Van Hal or someone where Bayern Munich we lost 3-1, I think, where Patrice Evra scored a banger to
That was
open the
Ole,
That's
that was
proceedings.
David
David
Moyes. That was
Moyes.
David Moyes.
That was Moyes. That was the first season after Ferguson. So we still had
Yeah.
the players back then to actually push even to the quarterfinals. So
Yeah.
let's just see what happens. Let's first win this game. उसके बाद चैंपियंस लीग में hopefully focus करेंगे, प्रीमियर लीग में focus करेंगे,
Hmm.
because I'm really nervous. Like Dinete, uh, when we have a chat on the group, you seem quite confident, man. Where does that confidence come from? Because I'm
The
actually quite
confidence
nervous.
comes from number one is that there's only one team that's below us, and which is not relegated, and it's them. So technically, we are going into a final above a team that we are actually ahead of, which is surprisingly there's only one team that could be. Second thing is, yes, people talk about the year of underdogs. We haven't beaten Spurs since 2022, and if there's one time we could beat them, let's just say it has to be in the final. And third, I still think that our players are. I know Gary Neville said pound to pound, their players are better, but I still do think that on the day, our players are better than Spurs' players. So, with that all being said, I think we could be, we should be able to do that. And our run to the final has been more difficult than theirs, apart from maybe the Leverkusen match they had.
Yes.
So even that being said, I think we are the best team in the Europa League, and if we just play like that, we should be fine winning the league. I mean the Europa League.
Interesting enough, Paritosh, अगर तुम compare करोगे our Europa League run with Jose Mourinho, the teams that we faced under Mourinho's tenure for the Europa League, for our Europa League success was actually wasn't that good. Saint Etienne,
Mhm.
Anderlecht, Real Betis, I think Celta Vigo it was, or Real
Yeah,
Betis, I don't remember exactly,
we felt like we
and then
going.
Ajax in the finals. And you
Mm.
compare actually this season, we've actually faced some very good teams. We're talking about Rangers, we're talking about FC Porto. I think
And
we faced
in this season, we have
Fenerbahce.
actually outplayed teams at times in the Europa League. That's the big
Yeah,
part.
Yeah.
There have been sections of 20, 25 minutes, 30 minutes where we have outplayed the opposition, and that needs to happen. That needs to happen in the final for us to finally get our hands on this trophy. We have lost the last final we had in this Europa League with Villarreal. We lost on penalties on the last penalty. Everybody scored from both sides. So yeah, I think it's time. But given the trend of cups and teams ending their trophy droughts, you never really know.
Uh-huh.
that's what's scaring me right now, because Newcastle won after 50, 70, I don't know how many years, 7 decades. Then you have your Crystal Palace first major trophy ever. Then you have Bologna winning after 51 years. Uh, Go ahead Eagles from Netherlands winning the trophy again, and then
Mm.
you have PSG in the final too. So I don't know. It's a little off topic, but even if you look at IPL, there are teams like Punjab and RCB in the qualifiers, so there might be a trophy tout coming in cricket too. So
Yeah.
it's काफी interesting phase चल रहा है. But by the शायद football heritage तो मुझे लगता है कि thinking about the last two seasons, us beating Newcastle in the final and then City in the finals, two quality teams, much better than Spurs, Newcastle as well as Spurs. Now you're going ahead in the third final. That experience, whereas Tottenham, on the other hand, they might be even more butterflies in their stomach, inexperience of
They
going
have
ahead in a
defeated us
final.
three times. They have
Yeah,
defeated us three times. They have nothing to lose.
but in
If
the
they lose
final, what do
every
you think it'll be?
if they lose everybody, yeah, it's Tottenham. They already lose. They have not won
Yeah.
anything for
Yeah,
years. But if United lose, it'll be trouble for us as fans. We'll have to go into a hideout.
that's true.
But there's also this thing where if we don't
There'll be
win,
pressure. If you consider pressure, we are under pressure right now. We have to win it to prove everyone wrong.
Because people are
But
expecting
not
United to
every
win.
any other
hmm,
reason for everyone to say, see, they were shat in the Premier League. They just managed somehow to get to the final and they lost to Tottenham. They are so shit that they lost a final to Tottenham Hotspurs. That will be the headline for United's end of the season review.
You were
So
saying
that
something.
is something United will need to avoid, and they will be under tremendous pressure to not let uh, not let Tottenham get their hands on the trophy.
I was saying, what if we don't win? There's also this thing that if we do get Champions League football, like most of our players will be not be in the club next season because we will pretty much have an overhaul of a lot of the players with the Champions League money and all that.
Mm.
So that could mean one thing, that sometimes the players could not perform to their best because they might be just thinking, I want to stay in this club. So, you know, but also secondly, if we don't have European football next year, there will be like about 8 to 9 teams in the Champions League, Europa League, Conference League next year, which is pretty much like half of the Premier League. So if we don't have weekly midweek games, there could be a chance for an actual rebuild where we can focus on the league and do better, which is what Newcastle kind of did this season, where they
But
didn't have any
even if
distractions of European
we
League.
won't win the Premier League, do you think even if we focus on the Premier
No,
League
we won't win the
wholeheartedly,
Premier League. We won't win the Premier League, but we could still be like Newcastle, where they try to
Like
get
the
a
third
team, they get
currently,
the
and they're on
philosophy
the
right and all that.
ascendancy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
but I don't think that will work for United because United need that extra 100 million push that you get from playing in the Champions League. We need that European football for the financial fair play. We won't be
Guys,
able
I
to
have
have
this.
sign.
I have this theory. If you, I don't know if you read this or not. A few days ago, there was an offer for Bruno Fernandes that had come from Al Hilal.
We are not
If you
able
had
to hear
read
you,
that,
man.
are you able to hear me now? Is
Yeah,
it
yeah, I
clear?
can hear.
Yeah. What I was saying is, I don't know if you read the news. Like a few days ago, there was an offer that came for Bruno Fernandes from Al Hilal, around
Ah,
130,
I
140.
read.
If we
1 million
don't
per week.
win,
Million per week.
yeah, 1 million per week. If we don't win the Europa League, do not trust Ineos to actually keep one of our best players in the club. They might actually fold, and they might, sell your biggest asset for some money. That is something which they can go ahead
That
with,
is a possibility.
considering what they did
That is
with Dan Ashworth, considering what they've done with the
Hmm.
rest of their employees. And I think even Bruno Fernandes, fair enough, if he wants to go, man, he's been carrying this club for quite some time.
Yeah, no one should blame Bruno
So if
for
he wants to take
leaving.
a break, he's like, I'm done with this shit. If he goes, he goes. Although I'm not in favor of it, but this is a theory that I have. In order to raise money, Ineos probably could go ahead with this approach. What do you guys feel?
It'll be disappointing to lose Bruno, but again, I would have no regrets if Bruno leaves to any club apart from City and Liverpool. He's more than welcome. He's done his bit for this club a lot more than some of our legends, even I would say. It's just that if Bruno played with those era players, he would have won way more trophies in his house. But unfortunately, he was the one who had to bring everyone else up to the standard that United is looking for. But yeah, if we need money and if that's the way Ineos is going, I know they are not being the greatest people as owners. That's a whole different topic. I mean, if but as long as they do recruit better, who knows? Maybe overall in the long run, that could be a good thing.
I think I won't hold it against Bruno if he leaves, even if we
Yeah,
uh, are able to play well in the Premier League and if we are promising signings next season. I think Bruno should leave because he has seen this uh, 2 3 times now. A new manager comes in, you have promised players. Here, there's uproar in the fans, and there are a few good games, and then there's this downtrodden cycle back to square one thing. And I think if we are not able to win the final and we are not playing European football, we again have to go into a rebuild, I'd say Bruno should leave because we are a club under tremendous amount of trouble for any player to join, and Bruno is already close to the end of his peak. So why not earn the amount that he wholeheartedly deserves and secure futures for his family? Not a future, but futures. He'll be setting them off for generations now with this team.
Generations.
I won't hold it against him. He has all my love in the world, and I'll always regard him as one of the finest I ever saw on the pitch for Old Trafford faithful.
Yeah, it will be a sad state of affairs, but let's be positive, guys. I think if you look at some of the, मतलब हम वो तो देख रहे हैं, we are looking at the trophy droughts coming to an end. But do you know the last time when Manchester City went trophyless, Manchester United ended up winning the Europa League? That is also something that happened.
Hmm.
The positive superstition भी अपने पास रखो. That was under Jose Mourinho. So Pep went trophyless that season, and United ended up winning the Europa League. So you will never know. And at the same time, like I said, United heritage. If even if Spurs go ahead, let's say 1-0 or something like that, by the end of let's say we're 1-0 by and they're like 15 to 20 minutes left, I'm sure they're going to be petrified because they will be so close to glory. They'll know they'll have everything on the back of their head, like trophy drought coming to an end after 20 odd years. Being the champions of Europe, we get to banter Arsenal. They haven't won anything. We win something. All of that is going to play in their head. For United, see why this trophy is crucial at the end of the day is not because it's a Europa League. We've already won that. We won every trophy that is actually there to be won. But it's because of the significance that it holds. Champions League, ऊपर से funds जो मिलेंगे, the funds are essential in order for us to thrive as per the Glazers and Ineos because we are on the verge of bankruptcy. So that's important. Even before the we had basically started this podcast, didn't we? Me and Paritosh were joking around that even if we get the Champions League money, I wouldn't mind actually giving Tottenham the trophy. It's fine as long as we get the
Hmm.
Champions League money. I just want
Yeah.
that so that we are able to rebuild our team because that's
Mhm.
something which is essential. Because right now we don't even have Rashford. Anthony's doing his wonders, but we don't have him. And then we've got Xerxes injured. We had Ahmad injured for a while, and then Rasmus Hoyland, the less you talk about him, the better. So we need a squad, a proper squad. Like we need the Avengers at this point of time. So yeah, that's how it is. Anything else you guys want to say? Add on?
No, I think the fact I forgot what I was gonna say. I think yeah, you're right that if we could get the money, that would be more important for us than the whole point of the trophy of winning a Europa League. I don't think any United fan is gonna be happy about. Maybe I feel like I want to see Bruno lift the Europa League. That would be a good sight. But apart from that, for Man United to win Europa League is not a big deal, I would say. But it's more about the other things that come along the with the prize.
Yeah, see, if Tottenham win the Europa League, they're gonna have a bus period. If we win the Europa League, it's gonna be a
Yeah.
normal. It's gonna be a normal Wednesday. It's gonna be a normal
Yeah, I don't
like
even know where that article came where we like I think it was Paul Merson saying that we should
yeah,
be doing a bus parade, but we didn't do a bus parade when we won in
exactly.
2017, even when we won a League Cup also. So
Even when we won the FA Cup under Louis Van Gaal, we didn't do it. We didn't
yeah,
do it.
or
We
last
didn't
year
do it
with
ever.
Ten Hag.
After
Yeah,
2013, we did not do it,
I think
and
that's a
that's how.
soccer mentality, which
Actually, yeah, that's something which I have to praise. The match. You could say the Glazers for at least उतने level तक नहीं गिरे कि हमने bus period रख दी for a league cup or an FA cup. That shows that you are, even if
yeah,
you're not, you do pretend to be a big club, which is, somewhat holding standards as to how you are. Because you saw Newcastle. Okay, fine, they won after 70 years, but for a
yeah.
league cup they were holding a bus parade. So that
And
is something we
Palace
can't expect
deserved it.
United
Yeah.
to do. So yeah. पारितोष क्या लगता है यार? So your favorites, according to you, are we are going in as the underdogs, and Tottenham Hotspur are the favorites, as per you. That's what you're trying to say.
Yeah, I believe we are the underdogs at this point, and I think it's better that way. I think the whole fan base and the nerves we are facing, it's better to be nervous than to be confident and get our ass whipped in the final. I'd rather be cautious now and celebrate later on wholeheartedly
Yeah.
if we
Let's
win.
let's yeah. One final discussion, one final point. Let's talk about Rasmus Hoyland. Do you expect him to start this Wednesday. Both of you. Do you
Sadly,
want
Do
yes.
we have any other
expect him
option?
to?
Do we have any other option? That's my
Actually, we
question.
can go ahead with the same approach that we did last season FA Cup final. Mein. No center forward, Bruno, Kubi Mainu, Alejandro Garnacho. That same formula. Like add another midfielder.
As much as I love Ruben, I
If
feel
we
like he would not
play
change it.
Diallo, Bruno, if we play Diallo, Bruno, and Garnacho at the front, then we take two midfielders. Who two midfielders are you going for?
No,
Ugarte and
I think Mount will play in the forward line and Bruno and Casemiro.
Mount. You'll bring forward as a forward.
He
Mount
plays
is
forward,
more.
no?
I think Mount is crucial as a midfielder. He has the tenacious ability to win
True.
back 50-50s and
But I thought he plays more
uh,
of a left attacking mid, no? For in the top three, in the front three. In the
if he
games
is the
he's come
left attack
on,
mid, then they want to bring Garnacho in the middle and Bruno at this cam position. That is what you're proposing.
I think Bruno will be the center false nine and Garnacho right. Yeah, I think. But
I
then I
wouldn't.
still think that
Bruno as a
Holland is
false nine
that
is
guys.
something that. Yeah, I think Hoyland is
So
going to
where
start
will
that.
Diallo play? I think Amad Diallo is going to start this game.
He will start. Will be, but he can be right wing back also. He'll be the one being right wing back. But
Right back.
he did start that. He did experiment that in the West Ham game, I think.
But I think he'll be more beneficial if he's forward throughout.
Agreed.
We'll need to start at the start of the game, and he's one of the major threats we have
Yeah,
in our team at
no,
this
I agree
point. We
100%. I
have
think I think Ahmad being right wing back is determined on who the centre back's playing. Because if we do have a centre back shot, then Mazraoui is playing right centre
you
back.
are not thinking of Euro and Maguire with the wing
If
back
Mazraoui and
Amad
whoever,
Delop.
Diallo, and left you want Luke Shaw. Would you
No,
want?
no.
or if whoever's fit, then he could play Luke Shaw left centre back, Drogo left wing back, then
Uh,
Lindelof and Maguire, and then he
No,
can put
I
Mazraoui.
don't want of anywhere
Euro's
near
fit,
in the
by the
playing
way.
11.
I
Euro's
think
fit,
Euro
by the
is
Lindelof
way.
will start, guys. I think he will be starting.
Lindelof.
I'm
I don't
sorry, I
want
hate it, but
Lindelof. No,
Oh
Lindelof
my
is
god, I
shite.
can't see Lindelof.
Sorry,
I can't see
Lindelof is
Lindelof
a head,
start.
and
he did
he'll
well
be
in the first
suffering.
leg in
But
Atletico Bilbao,
he'll
though.
have
Yeah, he
a
did
Yeah,
strong
well,
he
physical.
did well. But
but
he's
I
the
would
most
still
fit
prefer
centre back
Euro
we
or
have.
Delete.
Yeah, but I feel like both of them might not be fit also. Then we have to start Maguire, Lindelof, and then either play Luke Shaw left centre back or Mazraoui right centre back. Depending on who plays, then Ahmad plays right wing back or Luke Shaw plays left wing back like that. So it depends on the centre backs available. But I do think Lindelof would start, guys. I genuinely think. As much as I also am very suspect of it, but
He's too
Well,
shit. He's been too
the other
shit this season. I liked him earlier,
the
but
the other
he
thing that I
then
worry is
approaching.
that Tottenham Hotspur they play with a high line and they press actually quite well. Although in the Premier League it hasn't been decent, but that's like one of their fortes on the big hands. They press quite well, and we do not play well when it's from the back. If we
yeah,
are planning to do that, then get ready to concede a goal because we have Onana, Lindelof, Maguire. These people can actually and Dogu, they can
yeah,
make mistakes.
all of
Rather,
them.
it's a one-off. If you're playing Hoyland, if you are playing Hoyland, hoof the ball, hope and pray that he actually collects the ball. He's able to head the ball and pass it on, break that first line of defense. Uh, because if you saw the previous game against between Crystal Palace and Manchester City in the FA Cup final, did you see what I forgot the name of the centre forward? How could I do that? Crystal Palace's centre forward. What's his name, guys? Do you recall? Wait, let me just check again.
Ente. What was his
No,
name?
no, no, no. Wait, Crystal Palace CF. So it was so it was Mateta. Yeah, Mateta.
Mm.
So
Mutted.
it was a long ball to Mateta. The way that he handled it, he cushioned the ball, he brought it down, he passed the ball to the right winger, and then the right winger ended up crossing the ball to Eze, who scored the goal. That is crucial. You need to handle the ball. You need to know how to basically by Roko. Every time Hoyland gets the ball, he's not able to control the ball. Even if he controls the ball, he misplaces the pass. That's why it's essential that if you're going to go long, if you're not going to play from the back, then Hoyland needs to put in a shift tomorrow. Otherwise, if we are going to play from the back, then like I said, we need instead of Hoyland, it would be better if we go ahead with a similar approach like we did in the FA Cup final last season and add another midfielder who could actually, drop in, help those defenders to bring the ball from back to the front. Like we scored that goal against the second goal of Mino, if you remember, Dinete. You
Yeah.
know how it went from Bruno to Rashford, then Rashford
Mm.
pinned it to Garnacho, then Bruno again, and then something like that. So if there is Hoyland, move the ball. I feel do not play from the back. We are not capable of it, and hope and pray. It's a one-off game. Mistakes can happen. They will be nervous. Force the
Yeah.
error. Score a goal. And if you want to play from the back, just add a midfielder. That's my uh, tactical thought. But what do I know? Let's see what Amarim has, in store for us. Yeah, guys. So that's about it, guys. Let's give in a prediction. What do you guys have to say? What do you have to? What's your ultimate prediction at the end of the day? Biggest game of the
I
season.
think I'll have a
Probably,
prediction.
probably the biggest game for, defining our next 2 or 3 years.
Do you
You'd
want
have
to
to
do
say.
the prediction now, or do you want to come on the day of the final?
Let's do it right now as well. उस दिन
Mm.
फिर देखेंगे how we're feeling, and
Yeah.
then we'll give another prediction.
More team news and all will come then. Yeah.
So let's
Two
start with
United.
Paritosh.
Okay.
2-1
I'll.
United.
I think it'll be. I'm gonna say the most standard one, which will be 2-1. But
Mhm.
I also weirdly feel like it could also be like a 4-0 or 4-1 victory for us. Because I just feel like on the day, if we are very confident and we do well, we could literally overthrow them because their defense
Yeah.
is so bad. Like we talk about our defense being bad, but their defense is ridiculously bad. And if we do convert our chances, we will be scoring 2-0 up by first half even. I could see that scenario as well. I don't think we will lose at 4-0 that way, but I can see Spurs losing 4-0 in a final. So that, but again, I'm just going to keep it safe and say 2-1. I will say one more thing. I feel like there are three players that can win us the game, which will be Bruno, Casemiro, and Ahmad. And there are also three players that could lose us the game, which will be Onana, uh, Dogu,
Hoyland.
and Hoyland. So it
Yeah.
depends on either of these things, elements working out. We should be fine.
I'm scared for Onana, man. That guy, that goalkeeper terrifies me.
Yeah,
Hoyland, he does scare me, but Onana terrifies me.
true.
Any shot that goes to him, he parried, even in the last game that you saw against Chelsea,
One of the
with an
shots that
offside, but he parried
uh,
the ball to Enzo Fernandez,
that
right?
was
I don't know
insanely wrong, but
when
yeah,
is he going to fix that up. My prediction for the final is, see, I am kind of nervous. I think it might. You see, United, given the heritage, given the experience that they've been in finals, I think they'll be having calmer heads. So I think they might be able to win. I'll say 3-2 in favor of United, because
mm,
Spurs also come out all attacking. They're like all offense. That's been their philosophy since Ange has come in. So the thing is that we might end up scoring like the first two goals, then Spurs might score one, and then we might score another one, the third one. And the Spurs might score another one like towards the 80th, 85th minute. That can create those nerves once again for United. So it's going to be very close. That's what I feel. 3-2. But I hope then its alternate prediction actually comes true. It somewhat turns into a Chelsea versus Arsenal Europa League final. If you
yeah,
remember, Eden Hazard ran the show. I hope Bruno Fernandes or Amad Diallo have a field day, and so that we can just similar to what happened to Athletic Bilbao. No one thought that we would actually school them 3-0 at their ground. No one had thought that, but
mm,
United being United, they did that. So yeah, that's about it. It was nice talking to Paritosh and Dinete Thomas once again. Do you have to say
mm.
anything, Paritosh?
Paritosh,
Uh,
what's your
just that
prediction?
prediction we've done, no.
2-1. He
Okay,
said 2-1.
okay, okay.
Hmm.
Uh,
So I have nothing else to add. It's just that I'm waiting for the final. I think we can do something on the final, after it, before it, whatever. Uh, so yeah, it's just that I want us to succeed in the near future.
Yeah.
It's been time. We have had our banter era. We have been in this position for a long time now. I just want to see some good football, attacking football with good players, and for that to happen, we have to win the Europa League. So I'm hoping for a good result. Okay, let's see.
What's funny is that despite us being in our banter era, we've been in 5 finals in the last 5 seasons,
Yeah,
yeah,
and
that could be. See, in hindsight, we'll say ki we won this much in the banter era, but we all know how much this affected United as a brand, because City gained momentum. Now there are two clubs in Manchester, and two
mhm,
clubs who have, like, now Manchester City will have history. Even if they don't win anything from here on till 10 years, they'll have history now. So yeah. I think that is going to be the problem. Also, Liverpool getting onto 20 league titles is not something good. We
Yep.
need to not let get beyond this now. So we need to start picking up our socks, and hopefully we'll be able to do something about the league as well in the coming seasons.
Fingers crossed, guys. People are saying that Tottenham are the underdogs. It's the season of underdogs. They might win. People are saying United have that heritage. They might win. We've seen Arsenal getting, those leads, leading the league table for like 200 to 50 days and then, crumbling under pressure. I hope that is something that similarly happens to Tottenham because sports, at the end of the day, it's all about, you know, being
Mm.
absolutely calm up there. And if you're calm enough, you're going to lift that trophy. On that note, let's hope by log Manchester United end up winning their third trophy in their third season and we
Yes, sir.
secure a Champions League
Hope
spot.
so.
Prayers, supports, hope. जो करना है करो भाई. And let's just hope that we end up winning that game. It was nice talking to you
Inshallah.
guys. Take care,
Yeah.
guys. Inshallah. Let's do this. Bye
Let's
bye.
do
Take
this,
care.
bro.
Bye bye. We'll see you soon.
See you soon, boys.